Welcome back to iHeart Crypto. So, Bitcoin coming in at $23,729. We've had one hell of a run up so far. So, let's just dive into the price, see what's going on in the short term, in the long term, thoughts, speculate, dubious speculation, and we'll dive right in. All right, so we like to look at our Heikin-Ashi candles here on the weekly. And, according to Heikin-Ashi, we're cupping up quite a bit. I mean, things look like they could be moving up. Just saying. But, let's look on our regular candles here. If the weekly comes down a little bit here, we could be getting an indecision candle. All right. And, we did print a green dot on the weekly. We printed a green dot on the 2-week, and that did bring us up quite a bit. VWAP coming up here on the 2-week still shows signs of bullishness. Although on the weekly, our VWAP is still coming up a little bit. On our 6-day, still looking bullish on the 6-day, although money flow looks like it's coming out. Money flow coming out on the 5-day, that's not a good sign. On the 4-day, money flow curling up nice. On the 3-day, money flow looking like it's evening out, but VWAP is looking pretty good. But on the daily, it looking like money flow is starting to come out a little bit. We're getting a red dot on the 22-hour, just something to think about. All right. Let's take a look at the 22-hour here. I'm liking the 22-hour lately. It's a good time frame. So on the 22-hour, right, we have some bearish divergence right here. All right, so that could bring you down a little bit. It's a higher time frame, right? Looking at it on the daily, though. On the daily, see, there's a big difference between the 22-hour and the daily. Because, for example, on our regular candles here, on the daily, do we have any bullish divergence? There's our higher highs. I mean, you could say that. Let's blow this up a little bit. Let's see if we meet any bearish divergence. Like this, in the slightest bit, did you make bearish divergence on the daily? Like the slightest and slightest a bit. So there you go. Let's look at the 18-hour. You got bearish div on the 18-hour, 16-hour bearish div. You got bearish div all over the place here. All right, bearish div everywhere, and you're getting red dots on the 18-hour. Let's check the 12-hour here. Money flow looking like it's curling over. All right, and you're getting lower highs in your momentum waves. So, on Market Cipher, that's a divergence on Market Cipher there on the 12-hour. Okay, so just another bearish div on the 12-hour, so that's not a good sign. Also on the daily here, you did print what do we call it? It's a bearish hammer, right? Where the selling was at the bottom, the majority of the trading is at the bottom. It's hammering down. One thing positive that you can say is that you're holding the 55 EMA on the daily, all right, and you've held it for now 3 days straight. That's a good sign. That is a good sign. All right, you printed a green dot on Market Cipher. Now, normally these are long signals, right? But oftentimes they tend to call tops. So let's just go back. So like you got a green dot here, call the top, green dot here, call the top. But this one, you did have a little bit of a rally. So let's go back in time. See, this one you had a little bit of a rally. This one called more of a top. This one called the top of basically the forex stage, right? So, there's something else to think about. I think it all depends on where you are in the cycle, right? Of whatever. But see, like in the 2018 bear market here, on the daily, it called the top here, it called a little bit of a run up here, a little bit of a run up here, but mainly it called tops in bear markets. Just saying. All right, so that's just something else to think about as far as these green dots go. What else is good here? Let's dive into the 1 hour and see what's going on. Very, very short-term stuff here. Short-term stuff here. Let's go to the KuCoin chart. All right, so, as you know, on the KuCoin chart, we have these red boxes. These are like liquidity zones for vector candles from the previous dump that, market makers would want to come back up and take. All right. I can show it to you real quick, right? So where do we get these from? We turn on our Trader's Reality indicator. All right, you have a vector candle here. All right, we have that marked off here. Then you had another, actually, a vector candle here, but we came back up and took that one. See, that's where right here took it. It's got to take half the candle for it to be considered taken, right? According to the hybrid system. If you don't follow Tino, go follow Tino from Trader's Reality. He's the man, right? But you did not take this vector candle here. All right, I don't think that this vector candle here is going to get taken anytime soon, right? I think that one's going to be left alone because, we are in this massive, descending channel here, all right? Where we're just getting bear flag after bear flag, all right? I mean, that is a massive weekly vector candle, right? So we did come back up and take this one. These blue vectors, they will eventually come back up and take. It's just a matter of time. But I just don't think that in the macro sense of things that things are going to be, taken anytime soon. All right. But, diving into the 45-minute, all right, you have a massive blue vector candle here. All right. Now, you had this big pump, right? They come back down, they take it, and it looks like you're rolling over, to be honest with you. All right, and it looks like you're kind of just rolling over, and you're putting a red dot on your 45-minute. All right, what's some good things that we can say here? The one good thing here in the short term, your hourly Stokes are bottomed out, your 2 hourly Stokes are bottomed out, your 4 hours coming down to the bottom, which is a good sign. Right, these are good signs. All right, 6 hours coming down. See some of these higher time frames. In the longer term side of things, it's not looking too bullish because you got Stokes coming down. And let's see if our daily Stokes have crossed. See, our daily Stokes are crossing at the top. That's not a good sign. All right, not the best sign in the world. All right, so yeah, to me, are the market maker, there's this huge gap here, and there's just air. There's nothing here. All right, so you could get a huge pump up, and then I do think that you just get a huge rejection here at about $29,000. All right, that's going to be a huge line of resistance. All right, the shorts are just going to come piling in. Now, could you get a short squeeze up? It's possible, but just looking at the channel, right? Because this downward trend here. Let's see if I can mark this off. This one right here. All right, this downward trend. I mean, to me, that's everything. Everyone's looking at that, right? And once that breaks, I mean, that's a very long-term downtrend of resistance. All right. Once that breaks, everyone's going to be, screaming, breakout or whatever. And in my opinion, I mean, just looking at it, you got to leave room here, right? So, if you want to come back down, you got to leave room and time for you to have a dump down to whatever it's coming to, whether it's 15K, 13K, 12K, 10K, So I think it's pretty likely that you're gonna get a huge dump out of this. All right, in my opinion. I mean, that's just how I'm feeling. All right, looking at the 5-day, we have a new 5-day candle printing actually, and it is red at the moment. Red at the moment. Let's take off Trader's Reality. Yeah. not looking not looking too bullish on the 5-day. I'll tell you that. All right, 5 days looking bearish, right? 4-day, you know, you're getting a lot of sell pressure from up here. 3-day, not looking hot. Daily, not looking hot at all. You know, you're not looking bullish at the moment. I don't. This does not look bullish to me whatsoever. See if anyone's in here. No one's come in yet. Ugh. What else is good here? So yeah. So if I had to suggest a short, right, I would suggest Uniswap. Why, you might ask? All right, is because on the daily, all right, you are making bearish divergence on the daily. Not so much in your RSI, but you are making bearish divergence on Market Cipher. So here you have lower highs. You're printing a red dot on the daily, all right, and you have higher highs in your price action. You have bearish divergence, all right. So I think Uniswap is going to get a nice move to the downside, and you know there isn't much, you know, not a lot of trading in here, all right. So this could be a nice little move. Let's see what this move would be if we do come down. Ooh. Let's see here. From here, coming down. I mean, that's a 20% move. That's a pretty good move. All right. Just to the next high volume node. And if you do get that big dump, you know, you could be coming back down to $5. So, you know, a nice 50% drop for Uniswap. You know, Uniswap has been very, very, very bullish. And also, you can see your VWAP is coming down. All right. Yeah, 22-hour, your VWAP is starting to curve back up a little bit. So, yeah, 16-hour VWAP is coming down, 4-hour. 4-hour printing a green dot right at the moment, you know? That's interesting. 1 hour looks bearish. 3-hour money flow is beasting still. I don't know. That's on the daily though. You're not looking too hot. Not looking too hot on the daily. So I mean, that's what I'm looking at. But there's some other alts here like Matic. Matic was beasting today. Matic has been going absolutely nuts. Let's look at it on the daily. On the daily, you got a lot of waning momentum here on the daily. You know, you would need this momentum to be coming back up quite a bit. You know, I'm looking for bearish divergences on the higher time frames. And did you get it here on the 12-hour? Let's see. So you got a higher high. You made a higher high just recently, just today, right? And you're making a lower high, major lower high here, right? So unless Matic absolutely rips, then you're going to have major bearish divergence on Matic. And if you look, you're making a little M pattern here. Major M pattern. So not looking great on Matic at the moment, all right? And you're getting resistance on which EMA is this for us? Oh, your 200. Yeah, your 200 EMA on the daily. You're just bouncing off that. So, you know, not a good look. Not a good look to be bouncing off that. I mean, the one good thing you can say about Matic is that it's above all this high volume here, right? Let's go to the weekly, see what kind of data we got on Matic. Yeah, I mean, you could gap up. I mean, this would be great if things stayed bullish. I mean, your next stop is $1.30 for Matic. You know, $1.32, $1.33, and your weekly sitting up here at $1.25 for your 55 EMA on the weekly. So that's a good sign. Let's take a look at Matic on the Coinbase chart. See if there's a lot more data. There's not a ton of data. A lot more trading though, if you look. That's interesting. There's a little difference in the VPVR here between Matic, right, on Coinbase and Matic on KuCoin. Right? Big difference. Let's take a look at that. All right. Yeah, a lot more trading. So major resistance here. Look, you came back up to this high volume node here. Got rejected. Not a good look. Not a good look. So, yeah, in fact, looks like Uni's having a little bit of a pump here. See that coming. You can see that coming. Let's see, look at, you're getting, I would be shorting the hell out of Uni right now. I would not be longing Uni swap. Anyway, what's going on CMC? CMC, ETH coming in at about 1,700. XRP 38 cents. Solana $44. And anything moving here? Let's check our bubbles. I don't know what BTCST is. That's crazy. It's up 200% today. Filecoin having a good pump. Gala having a good pump. What's going on with Gala? Let's check Gala. Gala up 10% on the day. Had a nice pump. Real nice pump. It broke out of a wedge here. Right? So on Gala, on Mr. Gala here, you had this wedge right here. Alright, let's fatten that up so you can see. Alright. Let's see this wedge. Right about there. Right? Here's the bottom of your wedge. Right? You're pumping up out of that guy. Not too shabby. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. Alright, so, you know, if Bitcoin stays healthy, you could get a nice pump, but I really don't think that Bitcoin is going to be healthy for much longer, to be honest with you. Things are not looking good, you know? I don't know, my opinion. I mean, could you say anything good about the recent price action? What can we see here? Let's see. What are we in? In essence, let's draw a trend line here, right? I mean, this is what you got. You got yourself basically like a rising channel. Right? Something like this. So here's your support lines. Alright, kind of like a rising, broadening wedge. Alright, nothing crazy. And, I mean, if we're going to adjust our lines, you know, if we're really going to adjust these lines, I mean, we would need to adjust them here. Right? Kind of like a rising, broadening wedge, if you will. Something like this. I mean, it's dubious at best to keep adjusting your lines, making a higher and higher bear flag. You know what I mean? You know, I would say that's BS. To be honest with you, you know, if you're in a bear flag, you're in the bear flag. You know, you're having fake outs above it. To be honest. And I think that you're coming back down into it. That's, in essence, what I think is happening. Let's go. What's going on, ETH, on the daily? On the daily, are you printing a red dot? Yeah, you're printing a red dot on ETH on the daily. And ETH has been, like, the one that's you know, led this whole rally, right? So the fact that you're printing a red dot on ETH is not a good sign for Bitcoin. Usually, you know, whatever happens with ETH, you know, happens with Bitcoin, and you are making bearish divergence on Market Cipher. Alright? Major bearish divergence. You're not really making it in your RSI as much. Like, very slightly. Very, very slightly. Alright? So, just another thing to note. You know, bearish divergence in the daily, not a good look. Not a good look at all. So, yeah, what's in the news today? Let's check it out. Civic adds verification platform to battle bots and scams. Bitcoin and Ethereum continue to see growth as merge looms. How one DAO brokered a 14.5 million token deal. ApeCoin DAO to fund Bored Ape new site for $150,000. Ethereum NFT sales hold steady as July's trading volume sinks further. Nothing too great in the news here. Yeah, I guess that's about it, to be honest with you. All right. I'm messing around. I'm not really, I guess I'm not messing around on KuCoin. Nothing to say there. But yeah, that would be your Bitcoin update. All right. Basically, I think that we're going to fall right back into this bear flag and dump to the downside, in my personal opinion. Yeah, there isn't much more to say. Could we have a pump? I mean, God knows. I mean, just the higher term time frames. I don't see how you're pumping when your Stokes are at the top crossing. All right, I don't see that on the daily. You know, your Stokes are at the top here. I don't see that pumping. You know, your 5-day has room, your 1 week has room, but you know, on the shorter term stuff here, on the 3-day, the 5-day, the 2-day, whatever, like you're topping out. You're just topping out. All right, and your midterm time frames here, the 12 hours at the top, 10 hours at the top. So you know, maybe you see a pump later in the week. Maybe you see a dump and a pump again. Maybe this is just all sideways action. But all I know is that the longer that this goes sideways here, it comes closer to this line, and to me, this line is everything. This line is a lot. This line does mean quite a bit. So things are choppy as hell. Let's just say that. But that'll be it for the video. I'll see you in the next one. Trade safe. Peace out.